wanna be with you. You're young and beautiful. A choice of two directions. I had no hope. We never follow instinct. We just don't understand a different situation. With lost command. My heart's in limbo. Your heart, your heart's in limbo. You always share affection with everybody else. I think that you should learn to love yourself. The man that you love most, the man that brought you here. He's always in your memory. He's always there. My heart's in limbo. Your heart, your heart's in limbo.
Welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg. I hope everybody's doing well. I had a little choppy intro right there with I don't know what's going on. Hopefully just a Time Warner thing. I shouldn't be the computer itself, but you never know with these things. I'm on vacation this week, henceforth why I am live streaming just a little bit earlier. I was going to live stream last night, but I was just tired, yada yada. So anyway, I think that before we get started, we should do yeah, I guess you can start with a little bit of entertainment, and hopefully we won't have any buffering going on here. So this is kind of an oldie, but it's certainly relevant for today's show.
You have the honor of being the first chapter of ANTIFA in the Hamptons. Why am I the leader? Because I am in the system, but I have defected, and now I agree with you. We are going to topple the patriarchy. And what is the patriarchy?
Jeff Goldstein.
Jeff Goldstein, who's fucking my ex-wife. Correct. We're going to dismantle capital.
I'm going to start it from the beginning because hopefully the buffering will end, and this time it won't be any pausing. So we're going to start it in the beginning. It's a short video. Sorry.
You have the honor of being the first chapter of ANTIFA in the Hamptons. Why am I the leader? Because I am in the system, but I have defected, and now I agree with you. We are going to topple the patriarchy. And what is the patriarchy?
Jeff Goldstein.
Jeff Goldstein, who's fucking my ex-wife. Correct. We're going to dismantle capitalism. And what is capitalism?
Any hedge fund that's
Bigger than mine.
bigger than yours.
Any hedge fund bigger than mine. Correct. I have
Come on.
heard that certain people at the IRS
Certain people in the IRS
are transphobic. What we're going to have to do is get in there.
Get in there and let them know that that is unacceptable behavior.
And let them know that this is unacceptable
Behavior.
behavior. The IRS are the cops too.
We get what's going on here. I think you do.
You will all have a mini child's golf club for self-defense. We will train on a plush
Plush giraffe. Watch what he does with the plush giraffe.
giraffe that I bought for my daughter before my wife won
Watch him take
custody of her. You trying to fuck my ex-wife? Is that what you're doing?
take it down on a giraffe.
You're trying to destroy a family? You will train.
Train and all that sort of stuff.
Day and night on the giraffe until you are ready for
To hand combat.
My commitment to
Social justice. He'll say it.
social justice is unparalleled.
It's almost over.
I don't care what I have to do. Everybody that doesn't have a club has a
Come on.
pool noodle because you cannot handle the clubs yet. You will
Jesus Christ, folks.
graduate to club.
It's almost over.
Now remember, you don't work for George Soros anymore. You
You work for me.
work for me.
Antifa at the Hamptons. That's what that sketch is. Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, that was Tim Dillon doing Antifa at the Hamptons. I'm sorry for the buffering. I don't know what's going on. It's not meant to happen, but I hope that everybody appreciate the point that's being made here. And basically is the point is that everybody's making too much of a hubbub over Antifa as if they're so dangerous or what have you. And I'm going to say it best. What one of the former comrades, she's still a comrade, but we were when we were both serving in the Socialist Party. Catherine Nice Wonder once said that if a fascist or a Nazi don't want, they don't want to be roughed up. The best thing to do is not act like a fucking Nazi. In other words, just don't be a fucking asshole and physically assault people and stalk people and all this sort of thing. And that's what it comes down to. So anti-fascist. That's what it's about. Now, I'm going to say this. Trump signed an executive order a couple of days ago designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. And such bullshit. It is such bullshit because Antifa is not an organization. It's an organic movement. It's not George Soros funded and all this sort of thing. And you have all these right wingers that claim George Soros is funding Antifa. That's not such a thing. It's not a thing. It's not happening. And I do not think that Antifa is even dangerous. I mean, and what I mean by that is that, and I am in left wing circles. I'm the one that knows about this sort of thing. And I think that pretty much 99% of my audience knows about this sort of thing. And Antifa is not a danger to our democracy. I mean, honestly, I can't think of, with the exception of maybe 2020 when maybe some dumpsters caught on fire in Seattle or something like that, Portland. I mean, what else has been done? They saved Cornel West's life in Charlottesville. Maybe the one Antifa person who knocked George Soros, what's his name, Richard Spencer, beside the head. I guess was during Trump's inauguration or somewhere around there back in early 2017. Do I think he should have been knocked beside the head or whatever? I as much as I don't like Richard Spencer, and I mean, sure, if he wasn't harming anybody, nobody should sit there and knock him beside the head. Sure, that's fine, unless he's causing physical harm against another human being, and all of that. But suffice to say, Antifa, are they really a threat? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what I'm going to do, and I think I'm safe from buffering in this clip I'm going to show you here, and it's actually an article. And let me find it real quick. It's from Reuters. And it basically says Trump signs order targeting Antifa as a terrorist organization. You ever heard such a thing? Washington, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. By Trevor Honeycutt and Jana Winter, September 22nd, 2025. Washington, September 22nd, Reuters. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Monday calling the Antifa movement a terrorist organization, the White House said after promoting actions targeting left-wing groups following Charlie Kirk's assassination. Kirk's prominent conservative activist with close ties to Trump was assassinated on September 10th while speaking on college campus in Utah. A 22-year-old technical college student has been charged with Kirk's murder. Investigators are still looking for a motive and have not said the suspect operated in concert with any groups. but the Trump administration has used this killing as a pretext to revive years-old plans to target left-wing groups they regard as being hostile to conservative views. Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a decentralized, leaderless movement composed of loose collection of groups, networks, and individuals, according to the Anti-Defamation League, which tracks extremists. While some extreme actors who claim to be affiliated with Antifa do not engage in violence, vandalism, rallies, and events, this is not the norm, says his website. Trump's 370-word executive order directs all relevant executive departments and agencies to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle any and all illegal operations conducted by Antifa. Anyone who funds such actions, according to the White House. Let me find an Antifa person so I can give him $5 for lunch. Individuals associated with and acting on behalf of Antifa further coordinates with the organizations and entities for the purpose of spreading, fomenting, and advancing political violence and suppressing lawful political speech. Federal law enforcement officials already investigate violent and organized crimes associated with a variety of hate groups and ideological movements. The U.S. government does not currently officially designate solely domestic groups as terrorist organizations, in large part because of constitutional protections. You remember when the Republicans and the Trump movement say, they're constitutional conservatives. They're constitutional conservatives when you have Democrats in power. But since the Republicans are in power, constitutions, schmonstitutions, free speech. You liberals, you leftists, you get free speech. Don't you realize when we said we were for free speech, it only applies to God-fearing, Christian, conservative, heterosexual males? That's really what it comes down to. But a Justice Department official with a knowledge of discussions on the issue of Trump's order would unlock expansive investigative and surveillance authorities and powers. The person who declined to be named said the designation would allow the U.S. government to more closely track the finances movements of U.S. citizens and to investigate any foreign ties to loose networks of groups and nonprofits the Trump administration views as Antifa. Well, Trump, that sounds mighty fascist of you. Focus on foreign funding. Critics of the administration have warned that it may pursue an attack on free speech and the opponents of Republican president. You see, what it comes down to is Trump wants his little personal safe space because he's a little man-child. And the Republican right wing, this is not to say the Democrats are benevolent, have special choice words for the Democrats too. I have special criticisms for the Democrats and separate special criticisms for the Republicans. To criticize one party does not mean the other party is better. It's just they're shitty in a different way. So Trump he's a pussy. He's just a snowflake. He's just a little snibbeling little orange fat bitch boy that has a temper tantrum because some people don't like him, and they go, and when people say mean things about him, he'll do things like try to get Jimmy Kimmel fired. But that's beside the point, and I probably will talk about that in another video, maybe if I feel like it. The FBI's counterterrorism and counterintelligence division will use to track finance both domestic and foreign sources of funding and attempts to identify central leadership of Antifa. Good luck. The official said FBI surveillance and investigate operations are normally restricted in how they can target U.S. citizens. The big picture focus on foreign money seeding in U.S. politics and drawing connections to foreign bank accounts. A White House source familiar with the plans told Reuters. The designation of Antifa gives us the authority to subpoena banks, look at wire transfers, foreign and domestic sources of funding, that kind of thing, the White House source said. It was not clear which individuals would be target for such probe. Political violence experts and U.S. law enforcement officials have previously identified far right-wing attacks as the leading source of domestic violent extremism. Trump administration officials have sought to portray left-wing groups as the main source of political violence. This is crazy. And in the remarks of Kirk's death, legal experts have said that domestic terrorism designations may be legally and constitutionally dubious, hard to execute, and raise free speech concerns, given that the subscription to an ideology is not generally considered a criminal law in the U.S. Code. During the first Trump administration, there were at least two failed efforts to designate Antifa a terrorist organization, according to the Department of Homeland Security communications views by Reuters. So there you have it, folks. The last time Antifa, the original Antifa, was sought and criminalized in almost a similar fashion, maybe the first time around could be worse, was, I don't know, there's a country in the middle of Europe where the population speaks German, and they elected this little retard with a Charlie Chaplin mustache that when he talked, he's like, that guy, they call him old Adolf, that guy. Well, with that guy, they bent and they ban Antifa. I mean, the anti-fascist organizations. And and I have to sit there and argue with right-wing retards when they say, well, Hitler was on the left. Hitler was on the left. National socialism. Hitler was on the left. And, when next time somebody will tell you that Hitler was a socialist and they're socialists because socialist was in the name National Socialism, you tell them, go to a urinal, take the urinal cake out of the urinal the next time you're hungry for a snack, because it's obviously a cake since it's called a urinal cake, right? So if you want to use that logic, go and tell them to go stuff their throat with a urinal cake. That's why I'm waiting for the next motherfucker to do that. So, but anyway, yes. So it basically, what Trump wants to do is to go and criminalize an organization. Here's the problem. The dilemma. It's a problem for Trump. I'm glad it's a problem because you can't criminalize a movement. You cannot criminalize. Antifa doesn't exist. You might have a chapter of people getting together. You might have a Facebook group, a little Twitter account that says, hey, this is the Oakland chapter of Antifa, but it is not a functioning organization in the way that, TPUSA, Turning Points USA on the right, or the Daily Wire from Ben Shapiro is, or the way that the DSA or TYT would be on the liberal left or something like that. No, not at all. It's an organic movement. If you will, it might even, go ahead, try it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because, again, you can't criminalize something that's not there. And here's another thing. What the fuck is wrong with being anti-fascist? I mean, is it really such a terrible thing to be anti-fascist? I mean, I could think of a hell of a lot worse things out there to be. I mean, I think to be fascist is a hell of a lot worse than to be anti-fascist. But you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. I got so pissed off the other day that I went and had a little bit of free time on my hands, And if you want to, I would urge y'all to do the same thing. If you feel like just trolling people, and I'll go ahead and put this up right now, right there. I created my little Facebook, and I got one on Twitter too. Banner for Antifa, saying, "I am Antifa." Now I'm going to explain some things to you here. Let's see. It's the three arrows. Now I'm going to explain about the three arrows. Now the three arrows, and that comes close to home with me because before I was 30 years old, I belonged to the Young People's Socialist League, which was the youth section for the Socialist Party USA, formerly the Socialist Party of America. And famous people had belonged to YPSL, Young People's Socialist. The Freedom Riders were members of Young People's Socialist League. Tom Hayden, who was one of the founders of SDS, was a member of this. YPSL, Young People's Socialist League. Stokely Carmichael, the man that came up with the Black Power slogan, was a member of the Young People's Socialist League. Bernie Sanders was a member of the Young People's Socialist League. So, and the two white civil rights workers that were murdered in the two of the three civil rights workers, the two white guys and the one black guy, but the two white guys were members of the Young People's Socialist League. Andrew Goodman and Schreiner and Goodman, they were members of the Young People's Socialist League. So there's a proud history for the Young People's Socialist League. Well, they adopted the three arrows, and the three arrows came from the 1932 campaign for the Social Democratic Party of Germany that were campaigning against Hitler. And it was a campaign against, that one arrow was a campaign against Nazism. The other arrow was a campaign against monarchy. And the other arrow, it was a center-left party. So yeah, it was against communism. Now on the anti-communism front, the problem in Germany was that the left could not get their shit together, and the Social Democrats and the communists did not want to work together to go and put a stop to Hitler. And they needed to go and put a stop to Hitler. And they were both stubborn, and they both ended up in the concentration camps. They actually ended up having the same, I believe they ended up having the same banner on the concentration camps, because when Hitler put these people in the death camps, they had various different symbols to identify who you were. We all know the Jews had the yellow Star of David. We know that the gays, lesbians, they had the pink triangle. We know that. We also, and there's like other symbols that they had, and the red star was designated for Social Democrats and the communists. And then there was like other symbols that identify who you were, and I don't remember the other symbols for every group that were persecuted, but they all had their different symbols. So just a little side note about that and everything. So anyway, I just wanted to go and talk about the little three arrows there, what it represents. So I put that up there with the little the red and black flag logo, and the rose kind of represents my particular style, area or a particular lane of my socialist ideology, and put it in the backdrop there. And I was like, and say, I'm Antifa. Go ahead. What you going to do about it? I want to see what they can do about it, because what you're going to do when you arrest somebody for being anti-fascist, I want you to think about that for a moment. What can you do? And what qualifies as anti-fascist? Now, I want to say this. I am no fan of Mitch McConnell or Ted Cruz. So far as I know, they're just a bunch of fucking asshole pieces of shit. Are they fascists? Probably no, but they're just fucking assholes. They're just greedy, vicious assholes is what they are. Are they, unlike Trump? Trump is pretty much a fascist. I wouldn't have necessarily called him a fascist at one time, but You know, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, act like a duck, well, damn it, quack, 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 it must be a duck. And I have no problem calling Trump a fascist, even online, because, you know, again, unlike Donald Trump, I support freedom of speech. I support freedom of speech for everybody, even people that I despise and disagree with passionately. So, and I do that because I am a socialist. Socialists have been in the forefront of the free speech movement, and I am part of that tradition in that regard. Yeah. So anyway, I this is my form of protest online right there. It's kind of like, go ahead, come get me. I'm Antifa. What are you going to do about it, motherfuckers? That's what I got to say. So I have one on my Facebook page and my Twitter page. I was just too lazy to put one up on my YouTube channel, but maybe I will. But anyhow, yeah, how can you do it? You know, and I want to hear the constitutional conservatives, you know, the ones who claim that they're for freedom and liberty. And I know that there are actually a few out there, and for those that are, I'm not. My beef is not with that faction. My beef are with the people who claim that that's what they are, and then when they're in power, they change their tune. I have often said that in 2028, the Green Party could nominate Breonna Joy Gray as the presidential candidate and Max Blumenthal from the Gray Zone as the vice presidential candidate. And the Breonna Joy Gray, Max Blumenthal ticket could win the White House in the year 2028. I'm giving you the scenario. And I know that they're free speech absolutists. This is not, I'm not sitting there going to accuse them of that. I'm just giving you a scenario. They're free speech absolutists. Everything they have said and everything they have done in their activism, everything they have written about, indicates that they're absolutists on the free speech. But if they were to get in power and they would be opposed to free speech and curtail, I'd be questioning them too, because I'm a consistent motherfucker. That's my point. So, you know, that's my point right there. I believe in consistency. The point is that all these people on MAGA who said, yeah, I support freedom of speech, when the freedom of speech gets cracked down on the other side, they're nowhere to be seen. You need to not just talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. And I have walked the walk all my life on that question. There's nothing that will make me budge on that issue. So anyway, I'm going to play another video, and hopefully we won't have any buffering this time. I'm going to make one last attempt, and it's an old video and it's relevant. So give me a moment, and we will get to playing this video. It's a shorty too. Hopefully it'll work.
You guys ever notice that right wingers are a bunch of fucking pussies? Like, I always see this shit all over Twitter. We need to label Antifa a terrorist organization. Oh, they're a terrorist organization. Yeah, some emaciated faggot with a bike lock or a fucking pipe is a terrorist now? Well, I mean, I don't know, man. When I was growing up, you know, a terrorist was someone that, like, blew up a fucking building or some shit. Now it's some fucking college queer with a milkshake. What? That's what you're terrorized of? You fucking pussies! Oh, no. That's not the real terror. The real terror is Mexicans. Oh, no! A brown person! Hold me, Donald! Hold me! And yeah. Liberals are pussies too. Liberals, leftists, progressives, whatever they want to fucking call themselves. This goddamn.
Okay.
Week. they're a bunch of pussies too. But
At least they own that shit. At least they own that shit.
At least they own that shit. At least a liberal
pussy will admit that they're a liberal pussy. That's what he's going to say. I know we're buffering, so I have to kind of fill in.
Pussy knows he's a liberal fucking pussy. I mean,
bear with the buffering, folks. I'm so sorry about that.
After he complains about how the term pussy is sexist.
Come on.
Even though it's not, it's derived from pusillanimous, which is not.
There's a point to this.
A gendered thing at all, but what the fuck ever.
There's a point to this. Come on.
Oh, it's offensive.
It's offensive.
It's offensive. Oh, I'm so offensive. I'm so bad. But at least a liberal pussy.
All right, come on.
Knows they're a liberal pussy. Conservatives.
Let's try it now. Oh, gosh.
Always got to wrap it up in some macho bullshit. I ain't no fucking pussy. I don't care about your feelings. Fuck feelings.
He talks about a trans person going to use the bathroom and a right-wing person.
Hey, some transgender people are trying to use the bathroom that they gender identify with. What? No!
Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to go and play that all the way through. It was actually funny. I apologize. I do apologize. It's just not my day to have decent streaming. And yeah, I did set the video for 720p. And obviously, just today's a fucked up day for streaming. But the point he was trying to make was that the right wing people act like wusses themselves. And and when he used the F word to describe gay people, he want to make the point that he himself is, believe it or not, he's bisexual. So I guess he has to give himself a free pass to go and use the word and all that. But suffice to say, but getting back to what I was saying here, his point is that they are acting like the biggest snowflakes you can imagine. This was back in 2018 when all this was going on too. And they were talking about trying to designate Antifa back then as a terrorist organization. An organization that doesn't exist. So, and that's basically the point that was trying to be made and all of that. And so anyway, wanted to go and talk about this and hopefully that the courts will just throw it out, saying you cannot sit there and designate an organization as a terrorist organization. And and if you're going to go after Antifa, and start putting people in prison, you better start doing the same thing to right-wing terrorist organizations too. But he has jack shit to say about that. But you know why? Because the people who are right-wing, well, that's his constituency. Those are the people he supported. Remember, there were quote unquote good people on both sides. Good people on both sides of Charlottesville. No, Trump. There were not good people on both sides. There was the bad side, and then there was, there might have been some obnoxious people on the good side, but the good side was still the good side in spite of maybe some imperfect souls. Having that said, the bad people, unquestionably, were the alt-right people. Now, do they have their right to free speech? Absolutely, they had a right to free speech. They didn't have a right to go and murder somebody the way that one guy did with the car and all that. So that's violence is where I draw the line. You commit the violence, go and prosecute. And I don't care which direction that comes from ideologically. Don't care. But, this whole notion that the leftists are the ones who are fostering violence, I have seen nothing but violence coming predominantly from the right wing for years. Now, maybe in the 60s and early 70s, there might have been, left-wing violence on the uprise for a brief while. But, violence in this country has pretty much predominantly been on the right. It's always been on the right for the most part. And even when the left-wing violence started to pick up in the 60s and early 70s, it was a reaction a lot of times to the right wing. But you think about it. You look at how much that they gotten away with. I mean, the Greensboro massacre in 1979. Things of that nature, and you think about the Oklahoma City bombing. 167 people died. You think about the bank robberies and the radio talk show hosts in 1984. You think about all the murders that took place when people read the Turner Diaries and this sort of thing, and so there's a lot of violence that have been taking place, from the extreme right, and when I say right, extreme right, I don't necessarily mean Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz and people like that, although I despise them, but I'm talking about your crazy militia types and this sort of thing, and especially when they're engaging in the violence. Now, some gun nuts wants to go up in the mountains somewhere and shoot rifles and go yeehaw and all that, and they're not harming anybody. I really could care less, but when it comes to actual violence by one group against a population, it's usually right-wing violence, and I would include the asshole in Orlando that you got the Christian fascists that had done this sort of thing. I would even include the crazy Muslim kid that went into the Pulse nightclub in Orlando and shot 49 people for simply being gay. And I think that's right wing. That's right wing extremism. It's one of the areas where Donald Trump was correct to respond to it in 2016, and where Hillary Clinton was definitely wrong, and she wanted to be politically correct about it. You got these crazy terrorists in Israel. What's this? The JDL that's affiliated with Amir Kahani. There was a right-wing split off called the Jewish Task Force that they're even crazier than the JDL, have done some terrorism. So you get it from all areas and all of that. So the right-wing people are everywhere around the world, and they're around here in this country too. And the point is, they're the ones doing the terrorism, not the left. The left is weak. Unfortunately, the left is weak and feckless in this country, and too inept for its own damn good. And nobody really knows how to make the left stronger and in a way to work in a way where people can benefit, and we can have a living wage jobs, and we can have health care for all, and we can have generous paid vacation time, and a wonderful retirement, and a society where everybody mind their own damn business and treat and we treat each other with respect, that sort of thing. Just sounds pretty boring, but I like boring compared to this bullshit status quo. So let's talk to people here on the chat line, shall we? Okay. We have here, I'm going to start from the top and then I'm going to scroll on down. We have here Warren, Willie Bragg Show, Afternoon Dive, Radio Lingo. Hey, Warren, how are you today? Yeah, I decided to do this in the last minute. So, I did not know that my screen would be buffering like hell. But, so, Max RJ, how are you doing today? It was called the Warren Peace Prize. That's actually a good, there should be a Warren Peace Prize. I like the sound of that. So we have here Desert Mantis. How are you doing today? Of course, Antifa is a threat. Willie is Antifa. Yeah, I am therefore Antifa. All right. How are you doing, Desert Mantis? Let's see. All right. Trump's not a pussy. He grabs them by the pussy. Yeah, I remember when he said that back in 2016. Jimmy Kimmel lives. Jimmy Kimmel Live. That was really good. And well, I don't know. Okay. All right. Urinal cakes with candles. I knew about the spelling there. Let's see. All right, we got here. Willie, stop. I think it's against the law to badmouth TPUSA. Might be. It might be. It looks like it might be against the law to talk mean about Charlie Kirk. I got defriended and blocked the other day for it. Actually, about a week ago. Somebody I was friends with back in college who was not necessarily political back then, but kind of mildly progressive, and he drank the right-wing Kool-Aid. And so, anyway, he turned out to be a snowflake. And I refer to them as Toilet Paper USA, and that's how I always refer to Turning Points. Earl, how are you doing today? I'm on vacation this week, by the way. Let's see. All right. Anybody else? Okay. What do we have here? We have, I'm trying to think what your name is. Is that IJ, LJ? No human life is safe until every life is safe, from a liberal Democrat. Right. From a liberal Democrat. All right. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but oh well. And we are now here seeing Chuck's Intergalactic UFO show. Hope there will be a show soon. FA equals bad. Let's see. Oh, you're most definitely being designated as a terrorist organization. All liberals are terrorists. All Democrats are terrorists. We will never forgive you, and we will never coexist with you ever. Okay, all right. If you're not a troll, and you're a sincere right winger, and you don't want to coexist with me, that's totally fine with me. Less stress in my life. See you later. Let's see. They don't like Antifa because they're fat. Oh, fat. I know what you're saying. Okay, I got what that meant there. Hold on. All right. what Chuck's Intergalactic UFO show was saying, the FUF and to the right wing, well, FUF is bad, but to the right wing, it's not. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. Okay. They don't like the Antifa because they are the FUF. Yeah, and that's basically what it comes down to. And if you believe in abortion, you're evil. My answer is, if you support the genocide in Gaza of little babies getting their parts blown apart, shut the fuck up. Don't ever talk to me about abortion. If you're against Medicare for all, and you're against universal health care, and you're against a living wage job, shut the fuck up about abortion. That's what I would tell you. Anyway, if you believe in transgenderism, you're evil. It's not about believing in transgenderism. It's about believing in human rights. And if somebody's suffering from gender dysphoria, they have a right to transition. As an adult, they have a right to transition to be who they want to be. And it's not up to you to decide for them. If you believe that you have a right to hurt somebody, you're evil. Yeah, you don't have a right to hurt somebody. We'll agree on that. Get out of the fucking countries, liberals. I'm not a liberal, so you're talking to the wrong person. I'm not a liberal. I'm a leftist. There's a difference. And if you want to, I can enlighten you about the differences among the various ideologies out there. A lot of Americans, it seems like you're included, seems to be clueless when it comes to basic political science. Democrats believe in abortion. I know Republicans who are pro-choice, and even a lot of Republicans who are saying, I'm pro-life. Yeah, their girlfriends end up getting an abortion, and their wives will get an abortion, even though they'll tell you publicly they're against it. They only want to outlaw it again for everybody else. They believe in sexualizing children. Maybe individual Democrats and individual Republicans. It's not a political ideology. And I don't believe in sexualizing children. In fact, I actually don't even like children. So, but that's another thing. They believe in mutilating, sterilizing, and castrating children. Well, I don't believe in doing that, but you seem to be really in your own little world there. Your words mean nothing. We have a video evidence and proof that all the violence comes from the left. Oh my. And all the disgusting violence come from you. Oh, okay. If it did, I'm not totally aware, but okay, whatever you say. How do you feel about what Zionists are doing in Palestine? Oh, you're asking me. I think they're doing. I think it's a crime against humanity. So that's where I stand. Oh, you might be asking that person. Okay, I get it. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. That's it. Your words. We are wrong. Okay. You were direct. Okay. I'm sorry, folks. Being a Democrat is a litmus test to show susceptibility to being brainwashed. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Democrat, but you sound pretty damn brainwashed if you're not a troll. Democrats are the party of racism. Oh my God! Oh, you're one of those. Democrats are the party of racism. They're the party of oppression. They're the party of slavery. They're the party of hatred. They're the party of the KKK. I know about that one. Yeah. People like Jesse Helms, who used to be a Democrat, he was as soon as he signed the registration card to being a Republican, it all disappeared. All the racism disappeared. Come on now. Yeah, you're so ridiculous. You partisan hack. Let's see. All right. I'm having fun, folks. I am having fun. I hope that person's still around. Let's see. All right. I needed to get that off my chest. So anyway, I'm going to sign off very shortly. And I just wanted to say thank you for showing up today, and hopefully this is fun in spite of the video buffering, and I do apologize for that. You know, just imagine if I would have streamed perfectly, how smooth this video would have flowed. But anyway, I should have another video out tomorrow. So if you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Feel free to share any material I have on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we're, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. And reject corporate media. Definitely subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show. And remember to free and pardon Ed Snowden, free Palestine, free healthcare for all, fight to keep our First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, and fuck Charlie Kirk and fuck TPUSA. Y'all take care. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you all very, very soon.
Useless.